The woke revolution, remember, its chief tenet as it started to crystallize in 2020 and 21 is that the old paradigms of the civil rights movement were no longer applicable. It wasn't enough to say that our content of our character, not the color of our skin, mattered. The color of our skin now really mattered. And we were going to re-tribalize, as we've talked about. And some of the architects of the woke movement said, to stop discrimination, discriminate. To stop racism, consider race as you evaluate things and people. And this became almost like the Salem witch trials or the McCarthy period. It started a period of frenzy where people's histories were investigated. Every statement that could be found on social media was retrieved. Careerism was involved, where someone wanted to take out their boss from an inadvertent statement, from a look, from something they'd written in high school, from a picture they took. And in this frenzy, the military got caught up in it. And the military, especially the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, began to ingratiate themselves with the woke forces, apparently in Congress and the media. And by that I mean they are overseen by majorities in the House and Senate that are now Democratic. And they have a lot of liabilities. A lot of officers leave General Dynamics, Lockheed, Raytheon, Northrop, and they go into the Pentagon, and then they revolve out, and they're paid accordingly to their knowledge of the Pentagon labyrinth. And they're often the targets of liberal critics, Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren. But they've decided that if they're agents of wokeism and they're good progressives, then maybe they get woke insurance. They get exemption from oversight. So for their careers, it makes good sense to sound as if one is woke because it disarms the opposition. Indeed, the opposition melts and becomes an ally. And so the military began concentrating on recommending woke literature to the enlisted soldier. They began to say, there is such a thing as whiteness. General Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, said he's going to investigate white rage. Secretary Austin said he's going to scour the rosters for potential extremists, white supremacists. So this does two things. It creates disunity and suspicion in a McCarthy-like environment within the military. What do I mean by that? By someone who says, if I suggest that he's a racist, that'll put him on the defensive and maybe I will be promoted and he won't. And that hurts military readiness and preparedness. And the second thing it does, it's an enormous distraction in time. So when General Austin and General Milley all summer of 2021 were lecturing the country on their wokeness and how they're investigating particular groups on suspicions that they might be racist or discriminatory, they didn't tell us that Afghanistan was unsupportable, that it was falling, that it was eroding, that it was disintegrating. In fact, they told us just the opposite, that it would not result in a Vietnam-like calamity, that it was defensible, and that we could withdraw in peace and with relative quiet. In other words, they either deliberately lied to us or more likely they were so interested in what was irrelevant that they ignored what was crucial, their main mission. So what really is dangerous about wokeness, it tells the CEO at an airline, it tells the general in charge of a military division, it tells the university administrator who's supposed to educate people, these are not your primary concerns. Your primary concerns are race, race, race. And we want you to investigate and weed out anybody you think is insensitive on matters of race according to how we have defined it. And so it's sort of like a mixture of the Spanish Inquisition and the French Revolutionary Jacobin movement under the Robespierre brothers, in which we were always, under the Robespierre brothers, always trying to find out someone who was less revolutionary than someone else, and then therefore they could be hauled off to the guillotine and eliminated.